desert lies a mysterious place that is known by many names. Dreamland, Paradise Ranch, Groom Lake, and most notably, Area 51.
The government does not want to acknowledge that a base exists there. But the fact is, I've been there. There's a runway, there's buildings. It is a extremely secret base.
America knows about Area 51. It's now a household term.
This is where a lot of our nation's most secret and most important work has been done.
Area 51 is a breeding ground for conspiracy.
People are willing to believe the most preposterous things about what could actually be going on there.
I really don't think the government could conceal a flying saucer that we've had since a year after I was born. I really don't think so.
There are a lot of secrets at Area 51, but the ones that they guard the most closely are the ones that could lead some of these officials to federal prison.
The whole area is sewn with magnetic sensors and electro-optical trip sensors. Step over the line without a top-secret clearance, and they can shoot you. Next stop, Area 51.
Although officially our government denies its very existence, Area 51 has become part of our popular culture, inspiring films, books, and TV shows. But to truly understand the Area 51 mystique, we must look beyond the extraordinary claims and conspiracy theories.
This is Survival City on the atomic testing grounds at Yucca Flat, Nevada.
To a time when our nation was gripped by the paranoia of the Cold War.
3, 2, 1, T0.
A time when Area 51 was literally carved out of the Nevada desert, one of the several areas set aside for atomic testing.
The area where the Groom Lake Area 51 Air Base exists, that land back in the early 50s was grabbed by the Atomic Energy Commission, which is now called the DOE, the Department of Energy. And these are the people who've been responsible for the nation's nuclear weapons. And they needed somewhere to test them. And south central Nevada there is a place that no one cared about very much at all. This is not contested ground. And on old maps, if you look at old maps of this area, Atomic Energy Commission maps, you will see it divided up into areas. These are big boxes. And at a certain time, the chunk of land where Groom Dry Lake is, which is one of the many dry alkaline lake beds that are out in that area, was called Area 51. Those are old maps, and that system is not used anymore. But the name Area 51 is sort of stuck to the place.
In the spring of 1955, the area in grid number 51 took on a much larger role in our government's dealings with the Soviet Empire. That year, Lockheed Aeronautics engineering genius Kelly Johnson designed America's first super-secret spy plane, the U-2. But Johnson had one problem. He needed a place to test his covert creation. He turned to his trusted friend, civilian test pilot Tony LaVere, the man who some say is the true father of Area 51.
I told Kelly in simple words, I know exactly what you want, and I'll get right with it, which I did. I'm searching for the perfect dry lake, because I knew that a dry lake is the best natural landing field for experimental flying that ever was devised.
For nearly a week, Tony LaVere and his team scoured the Nevada desert, checking out dozens of remote sites. But when they crossed the Nellis Mountain Range and came upon Groom Lake, LaVere immediately knew that their search was over.
This thing is, on a scale of 1 to 10, it's a 10 plus. The rest of them don't even stand a chance. Its location was really out in a godforsaken country, and not very many people roam around those parts. And it turned out that the CIA over across the hill, some 30, 40 miles from us, had all the facilities and equipment to do this sort of stuff, and they said, we'll build the base for you.
And with that, Area 51 became our government's most top-secret military facility. Within a few short weeks, Tony LaVere found himself behind the controls of Kelly Johnson's Cold War brainchild, the U-2 spy plane.
At Scrip & Save Rent-A-Car, you get more than just the lowest rates. To prove it, we're introducing a new service. Personal navigators in each car to give you directions. We'd love to put real navigation systems in our cars. Who do you think we are, Hertz?
Hertz offers Never Lost, the in-car satellite navigation system that makes getting there easy. It's another reason why we're Hertz.
Thanks to all my new friends at GMC, we're collecting more cards for the troops than we ever could have on our own. And now they want to say thanks to you.
Now through May 31st, during the GMC Memorial Day sales event, get 0% APR financing or $22.50 total cash back on the all-new Sierra. It's our way of saying thanks. See the pros at your local GMC dealers by May 31st.
Let's talk about the weather.
No, Utah is still getting dumped on.
And 18 more inches of snow. No.
You want to pick it up? What? We're out of here. I'm going to Utah. I'm going to use the points. Word is this is just the tip of the storm. Canada's getting pounded.
Yeah. What are you doing here, eh? I heard there's a huge storm in Japan.
Konnichiwa. Come on, slow guy.
John, what are you doing? Hurlbutt on Norway.
Norway. Yo, Adam, we're out of here. So, there's a storm in Italy. I need to be able to travel where I want, when I want. That's why my card is American Express.
If you're a pet lover like me, you probably use these to keep them healthy. But why, when you can get exactly the same medications for a lot less from 1-800-PET-MEDS? Fast service, free shipping, big savings. Call now or order online.
Planning a trip? Whatever your pleasure, go to thenewtravelchannel.com. Check out popular destinations, find up-to-date listings, book a trip. Just go to thenewtravelchannel.com.
A lot of you getting ready for Memorial Day weekend. You're not going to miss the opportunity. Yucatan 2000 starting this Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Don't miss the opportunity. The Hyundai lineup, the 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Gas prices the way they are, and I got news for you. All new product lineups. The all-new Elantra, the all-new Veracruz, the all-new Santa Fe. It goes on and on. The all-new Accent. Come look at the new product. See what Hyundai's all about, because it's going to be huge.
Now I had the time of my life, and I owe it all to you.
At Sandals, having the time of your life means having everything you've ever dreamed of. But most of all, it's having the time together. Get up to 50% off depending on date of travel. Call 1-800-SANDALS or visit our website.
1, 2, 3. Hi, it's Samantha Brown. I'm shooting my new series in Latin America. This is Alexander. He's teaching me how to samba. Whoa! But clearly, I've got a lot to learn. Oh!
Samantha Brown, Passport to Latin America premieres June 6th at 8, only on the Travel Channel.
In any war, the most powerful weapon is information about the enemy. In the late 1950s, the U-2 spy plane, developed and test flown at Area 51, became our government's secret weapon in the Cold War against the Soviet Union.
We knew the Russians were working as fast and cleverly as they could to make nuclear bombs, but we had no way to look into their vast terrain. So the CIA went to the Lockheed Skunk Works, which is a very brilliant little engineering group at the time, and said, can you make us something that flies high? And with a bunch of fast work, made one of the first really invincible spy planes, the U-2.
Equipped with sensitive infrared cameras, the U-2 was capable of producing detailed aerial images of enemy installations from as high up as 80,000 feet, far beyond the range of enemy radar.
Although the U-2 was actually a spy plane, a cover story was put out that it was being tested at Groom Lake for high-altitude weather research for the National Advisory Committee on Aeronautics, a predecessor to NASA. And the aircraft were actually painted in false NACA markings in case one crashed off-site.
For years, the U-2 flew dozens of clandestine missions with total anonymity, bringing back vital photographic proof of Russia's military and nuclear weapons buildup. But in May of 1960, all the secrets surrounding the U-2 spy plane came crashing down.
Secret reconnaissance of Russia by high-flying American U-2 jets ended when one was downed deep in Soviet territory. Its pilot, Francis Powers, was made the subject of a showcase trial.
You had this famous shoot-down of Francis Gary Powers, and he was captured. And this was at a very sensitive moment in time when there was a summit meeting coming between Eisenhower and Khrushchev. And about 5 days before this, our guy falls out of the sky in an unacknowledged airplane. And this, of course, created a huge flap.
Gary Powers was convicted of spying by a Soviet court and sentenced to 10 years in prison. However, he was later released and exchanged for a Soviet agent in U.S. custody.
There's no question in my mind that the intelligence that they got on Russia probably kept us out of World War III.
But the U-2 was just the first of many top-secret aircraft to be developed and tested in the desert skies over Area 51.
After the U-2 program was completed, they used the Groom Lake facility to test the A-12 spy plane, which is capable of flying in excess of Mach 3 at altitudes above 80,000 feet. This was the predecessor to the SR-71, Blackbird.
Still flying today, the Blackbird pushed the envelope of supersonic aerodynamic technology. Like the U-2, the SR-71 Blackbird was used for high-altitude military reconnaissance. But as enemy technology advanced, and even our most sophisticated aircraft became vulnerable, the clandestine projects at Area 51 took on an urgent and surprisingly new direction. According to some experts, a very different kind of aircraft was being tested in the dark skies above Area 51.
It turns out that various agents of ours were able to procure Russian military hardware. This means entire MiG fighters, radar, air defense systems, etc. Obviously, certain people in certain governments and militaries behind the Iron Curtain were corruptible, and somehow the stuff ended up at Groom Lake. And there were squadrons of guys called Red Hats, who were American pilots who flew MiGs. Possessing your enemy's weapon and taking it apart is hugely useful to you. This is a great coup. And it turned out that was an important thing going on at Groom Lake. That was really a highly kept secret.
But Russian MiGs and the Red Hat Squad weren't the only secrets being kept at Area 51.
When you follow Groom Lake into the 70s, then you start getting into the era of stealth. And this is when the HAV blue planes were developed and tested at Groom Lake. They call them technology demonstrators. And the idea was, hey, we figured out that you can really manipulate radar reflections by having these flat, faceted surfaces so the thing looks like somebody's diamond ring, but is it gonna fly? Well, okay, you'd better build one and try that out before you order a whole bunch of these. And the HAV blues were little 2/3 size, kind of hand-built jobs that prove, yes, you can make these things aerodynamic and controllable, and you can make them extremely hard to see on radar. And at the same time, another really weird program, which was just declassified, called Tacit Blue, which is just an ugly device. It looked like a cross between a loaf of French bread and a snow shovel. What these guys were trying to do was figure out compound contours, going beyond the flat, faceted stealth shapes and getting into smooth, like your car body has nice rounded curves on it.
From the HAV Blue and Tacit Blue projects emerged the technology for America's most top-secret aircraft to date. For years, there were reports of strange black wedges piercing the skies near Groom Lake, and rumors of a stealth aircraft decades ahead of its time. For once, it seemed the rumors about Area 51 proved to be more fact than fiction when in 1988, the U.S. military officially unveiled the B-2 stealth bomber and the F-117 stealth fighter.
The Air Force uses secrecy to shield advanced technology. The hope is that if we can keep something in the dark as long as possible, a potential enemy will not gain an advantage. Such was true with the stealth program.
During the testing of the F-117, everything evolved around working at night. The mechanics, the engineers, the pilots, everybody adapted to living at night. The men who flew the black jet, as it's called, they all wear black.
In February of 1991, the years of secret flights in the skies of the Nevada desert were put to the test over the desert sands of the Persian Gulf.
The F-117, what's called the stealth fighter, it's actually a light bomber, turned out to be very useful in the Persian Gulf War, and it works.
As the world watched, B-2 stealth bombers and F-117 stealth fighters delivered an unprecedented and devastating rain of firepower on a stunned Iraqi army, totally unaware that such weapons of mass destruction even existed. And today, the secrets of Area 51 continue. Rumors persist of a highly classified hypersonic aircraft known as the Aurora.
Aurora is the name that we researchers give to very fast aircraft which have been developed and tested under black programs.
Although no published photographs of the Aurora exist, there is no shortage of visual interpretations of this alleged high-tech spy plane. Based on revolutionary propulsion technology, this aircraft is said to fly at 6 times the speed of sound and can attack with pinpoint accuracy.
This is a pretty substantial step forward in aviation technology. What it means is you've taken a very big step towards true global warfighting. You have put down the basis for technology which allows you not only to perform reconnaissance missions, but to perform precision strike anywhere in the globe within a very few hours of the decision to go. Aurora would be a perfect fit with Area 51 because you need a big tract of land and a big base to support this aircraft and hide it. And that's what Area 51 is there for.
But to date, our government's position is unwavering. Officials insist that no such aircraft as the Aurora exists.
But I can tell you that the committees, the appropriations committees of both houses, the Armed Services Committee, have investigated Aurora till you can be blue in the face. And Aurora does not exist. We wish we had an Aurora, a plane that could travel to Baghdad in 3 hours. It may be on somebody's drawing boards for such a technology, but right now, that does not exist.
This culture of secrecy that surrounds Area 51 has inevitably led to a climate where nothing is too strange to be believed, and true believers have turned the area surrounding the base into a virtual convention center of conspiracy.
He volunteered.
We were drafted. She enlisted.
And off we went to Asia, to Europe.
The Gulf. To do our duty.
Serve our country. We were buddies.
Shipmates. Best of friends.
I'll never forget his courage.
Her dedication.
The way he made you laugh.
And I'll remember him.
Remember her?
I'll remember them. Always.
Get started in boating with your free DVD at discoverboating.com.
We gave 200 Nikon D40s to one small town to prove that anyone can take amazing digital pictures with the compact, easy-to-use Nikon D40.
This has been on my neck since I've gotten it.
Anyone can overcome the frustration of losing a moment to shutter delay. To see their pictures and find out how the Nikon D40 turned Georgetown, South Carolina into Picture Town, go to
Flight. Hear from your favorite experts. Go and share it all with other travelers just like you. Only on the new travelchannel.com.
Billy, what are you doing? Use-a-thon's going on.
I got the Syracuse phone book, and I'm trying to text everybody, give them a text message about Use-a-thon 2000, and I'm here, and I'm selling cars, and it don't matter what it takes, so I'm text messaging. I'm going down the list.
How do you do all this? Your text
I learned the other day how to do this stuff.
And you're giving away a house, a Ryan home, and a new
I'm giving
Santa
away
Fe.
$200,000.
And you got 2,600 Hyundais.
I got stuff for the kids. I got everything going on.
That's going to take you a while. You better get busy. Folks, get here. It only happens once a year, and it is what?
1985. Gretzky makes the great one seem like an understatement. 1994. Messier backs up his mouth with his stick. 2006. Doug Wade separates shoulder, lifts cup with his heart. 2007. The NHL Stanley Cup playoffs on Versus. Do or die.
Brought to you in part by Burdick Dodge Chrysler Jeep at Drivers Village. Pick up your information card there today and find out how to play and win the Versus Stanley Cup All-or-Nothing Sweepstakes.
Samantha Brown. I'm shooting a new series in Latin America.
One thing you're really going to take from this series are the cultures here and the people. South America is chaotic. It is unfamiliar. It's so foreign, it's so new, and it's all about discovering. And yet the people here are as welcoming and as comforting. It's like your best neighborhood. It's awesome.
Samantha Brown, Passport to Latin America premieres June 6th at 8, only on the Travel Channel.
The one thing, I guess, that a lot of people should understand, that Nevada
has the one and the only extraterrestrial highway in the world.
In 1996, the state of Nevada officially dubbed Route 375 the extraterrestrial highway due to the countless sightings of UFOs reported by residents and visitors to the area.
Look at that, isn't that great? Look at that. Yeah, look at that.
The whole UFO and alien connection to Area 51 can be traced directly to one man, MIT graduate and physicist Bob Lazar.
The Area 51 story at first became public, to the public eye, in 1988, 89, when Bob Lazar came out with his story that he had, in fact, worked on alien spacecraft at Area 51.
When Lazar went public with his claims, the media went wild.
It took me 7 or 8 months to talk him into sitting down for an interview. And when we finally sat down, he told me the most incredible story I've ever heard as a journalist, that he worked at an area called S4 south of Groom Lake, that the facility was built into the side of a mountain to make it disguised. The hangars were disguised to look like part of the mountain. That inside this mountain were a series of 9 different hangars, and inside each of the hangar was something that looked like a flying saucer. He saw one of them fly in a test flight. While at the base, he was allowed to read several briefing documents which indicated that these were of alien origin, so it was a pretty fantastic story.
But Bob Lazar's claims did not convince everyone.
He may have seen something that he kind of portrayed as being alien because maybe it didn't fit his normal description of what would be a Department of Defense or Department of Energy piece. I've been out there. There is no UFOs, there's no aliens, there's nothing like that there. This is a top secret facility, but not for that type of thing.
Whatever you want to make of Bob Lazar, he is the springboard that just launched this spooky base into the public eye.
Within months, thousands flocked to the Nevada desert to search for strange objects in the sky.
It looks like it's floating, but it's changing shape.
The concept of visitations by extraterrestrial beings has become a large part of popular culture. It's drawn hundreds, perhaps thousands of visitors out to an area of the desert that ordinarily would be avoided by most sensible people.
That's Bald Mountain. On the other side is Groom Lake.
Not surprisingly, reports of UFOs and bizarre creatures from other worlds became almost commonplace.
A bright star. Holy sh! Come here, look at this. No, it's not. It's got 2 lobes on either side, 2 very distinctive lobes on either side of it. Come here and look at it through this. Come here.
It may be that people want to believe that we're being visited by beings from an advanced civilization.
There's supposed to be some nasty ones here now, reptoids. The rumor is, allegedly, they're coming from 100 million light years out. They're making that time jump.
That's what I saw, yeah. It's cool. That is so cool.
The sudden interest and influx of tourists into the area helped transform the nearby town of Rachel, Nevada. Once just a tiny dot on a map, Rachel has become a mecca for believers and non-believers alike.
People come out here in a search for the meaning for life. They want answers to things they can't find anywhere else.
Many of the curious drop by the Little Alley Inn to escape the desert heat and swap stories of close encounters of every kind.
Our place has become known as an information exchange area where people can come in here and talk about anything under the sun, and they're not going to be ridiculed by their beliefs or their disbeliefs.